Doesn't mean she can't. But she doesn't want to. There is a huge difference. Just because a tiger can swim doesn't mean it should start living in water. Now you might say that there are plenty of women leading countries. And I do not disagree. But it is clear that these women have more masculine traits than feminine. They literally have to abandon their nature to take this superficial crown. I'd say there is a pretty steep price paid by them to do this. Furthermore, we should not look at the few exceptions but rather the masses. Most women are desperately working just out of necessity, not because they want to. Now how does this relate to men? I am a firm believer of personal responsibility, and I do not believe in throwing the blame around. It is the weakness of us men that is making women roll up their sleeves and do what we are supposed to do. Consequently, the social lives are totally chaotic and void of peace for both average men and women. Don't look at the exceptions. They are hardly 1% and absolutely do not represent the men and women who are actually suffering. Women in the West are especially suffering from their own so-called freedom. Because men would simply ditch them, assuming that she is a so-called strong and independent woman. Now I am not trying to put women on pedestal or trying to portray them as victim. Some of them are not so angelic. And often men are victim of their materialism and shallowness. But you must understand the root cause of things. Both men and women are abandoning their nature. Nature is a gift of man. It is your very soul. Every time you defy your soul, you will pay a steep price for it. If a man doesn't take the reins of life, he will invariably become an alcoholic or a drifter, as Napoleon Hill states it. And if a woman has to do a man's job as well as stay a feminine and a healing being, it's not going to happen. She will have to sacrifice her very nature to do this. You could argue that a lot of them love their work and they are really happy about it. Again, it's just a grain in a sea of sand. And even if she is highly successful, her soul will always crave that man that completes her. And it's the same for man. Only a harmonious relationship is the salvation for both. We must realize our roles and honor our nature. The strong dread we feel when we defy our soul is a clear indication that our soul disagrees with what we are putting it through. This takes a toll on the body and it withers away. Don't be fooled by the current culture of female empowerment. This empowerment has taken the true freedom of women and made them corporate pawns. And it has made men complacent that she is capable and can take care of herself. I have no responsibility to support her. Hence the rise of weak and feminine men. When I say weak, it means mentally. Because the industrialism and adventurism of men is fading. And they are shying away from taking bold initiatives. And weakness also doesn't imply that we should force and beat women to conform to our ideals like in the old days. It is about mentally accepting your role as a man. And she will automatically want to serve such a man. You will attract feminine women who are looking to build a paradise with you. Don't forget that just as she needs a strong man, you need a real woman that makes your house a home. A man wants to come home to a comfortable place where he can rejuvenate. No man likes to come home with no welcome and a warm meal. A working woman is not able to do it, no matter how much of a superwoman she is. And a weak man can never demand such a service from a woman. It is almost blasphemous for him to demand it. Only a real man has the right to demand it. And only a real woman will answer this call. You first need to be aware of who you are. Otherwise, you will easily get lost in the stream of artificial freedom and fake empowerment. The only thing feminism has done for women is take away their crown that made them queens. And it has bestowed upon them commodity corporate slavery. And men have an excuse to become drifters and just chill, because a woman doesn't need a man to make her life better. This has stripped the drive of men from them. Masculinity is lost in the process also. The West is plagued with this and is now suffering the consequences. And the rest of the world is slowly starting to drink this poison. It is up to us men to once again take back the reins. Give the crown back to the queens by sitting on our rightful throne as kings. Let her be our support as we fight the battle. She will sustain us and we will protect her. And together they can build their own kingdom of heaven.